The hidden signals of jealousy. 7 signs you can't ignore. You think your relationship is built on trust, solid as a rock. But lately, when you share good news, their smile doesn't quite reach their eyes. Those caring questions about your day feel less like interest and more like an interrogation. It might start small, a quick glance at your phone or a pointed question about a new friend. But soon, you realize it's part of a bigger pattern. A pattern of control that threatens to cut you off from the people you love and the things that make you you. This isn't just concern. These are the first signs of a destructive force that can chip away at even the strongest love. Today, we're talking about one of the most complicated and misunderstood emotions out there: jealousy. It's not always the big, screaming monster people imagine. Sometimes, a tiny flicker of jealousy is normal. It's a sign that we care, that our connection to someone matters. But there's a line. On one side, it's a manageable feeling. On the other, it becomes a poison that fuels suspicion, insecurity, and control. The real danger of jealousy is that it's a master of disguise. A jealous partner rarely screams, "I'm jealous." Instead, it hides in plain sight, wearing the mask of love or protection. They'll say things like, "I'm only like this because I love you so much," or "I'm just worried about you." These words are confusing and can make you second-guess yourself. You might even start to think their possessiveness is proof of how much they value you. But unchecked jealousy erodes trust, the very ground a healthy relationship stands on. It replaces it with fear and anxiety, making you feel like you're always walking on eggshells. You find yourself carefully editing your stories to avoid setting them off. This feeling usually isn't about you at all. It's often rooted in their own deep-seated insecurities, their fear of being left behind, or feeling like they aren't good enough. Their struggle becomes your burden. So, we're going to pull back the curtain on this complicated emotion and expose the 7 hidden signals of jealousy, the subtle behaviors you really can't afford to ignore. Recognizing these signs is the first step to protecting your peace of mind and deciding what a healthy relationship really looks like for you. If you've ever had that knot in your stomach, that feeling that something is just off, then stick around. Let's get into it. Sign number 1. Constant questioning and monitoring. First sign, and the one that often creeps in the most quietly, is constant questioning that slowly turns into monitoring. At first it seems sweet. They ask about your day, who you ate lunch with, what you talked about. It feels like they care about the little details of your life. But then, the tone of these questions starts to shift. The curiosity starts to feel more like an interrogation. It's no longer just, "How was your day?" It becomes, "Who exactly was at the team lunch? Was Michael there? What did he say? Why didn't you text me the second you got back to your desk?" These aren't just questions, they're data points for their anxiety. This behavior is a classic sign of controlling jealousy, born from a total lack of trust and a need to manage anything they see as a threat. This monitoring quickly spills over into your digital life. They might casually pick up your phone while you're in the shower, saying they were just checking the time, when really they're scrolling through your texts or checking your social media likes. They might even demand your passwords, framing it as a test of your love. They'll say something manipulative like, "If you have nothing to hide, you wouldn't have a problem with it," which flips the whole situation around and makes your normal need for privacy look like guilt. This constant surveillance is exhausting. It creates an atmosphere of paranoia where you feel like every move is being watched and judged. You start editing your own stories, leaving out the friendly chat you had with a coworker, not because anything happened, but because you're just too tired to deal with the 20 questions that will follow. This is how isolation begins. You start making your world smaller just to keep your partner calm. That is a weight you should never have to carry. This isn't love, it's control. Sign number 2. Downplaying your achievements. Second sign is one of the most painful. They consistently downplay your achievements. You come home, practically vibrating with excitement. You finally got that promotion, or you finished a project that you poured your heart into. You're proud, and you want to share that feeling with the person you love. But when you tell them, their reaction is flat. Or even worse, it has a weird, critical edge to it. This isn't about them not caring. It's about their jealousy twisting your success into a threat against their own self-worth. They won't say, "Your success makes me feel bad about myself." Instead, it comes out in subtle, corrosive ways. They might give you a backhanded compliment, like, "Wow, congrats. I'm honestly surprised they picked you." What you hear is the congrats, but the message that lands is, "I didn't think you were good enough." Or they'll reframe your hard work as a negative. "That's great, babe. I guess all those late nights were worth it, even if I had to eat dinner alone." This is meant to make you feel guilty for your own win. Another common tactic is to immediately minimize what you've done. "Oh, that's nice. My brother got a similar deal last year, but his came with a company car." Or they'll just pivot the conversation right back to themselves to reclaim the spotlight. It's like they're in a silent competition with you, and your win feels like their loss. Deep down, this comes from a place of insecurity. Your light shines a spotlight on their own perceived failures. Over time, this is incredibly demoralizing. You find yourself hesitating to share good news, which is a tragedy in a partnership. You start dimming your own light just to make them feel comfortable. When your biggest cheerleader acts more like your biggest competitor, it's a huge red flag that their jealousy is turning your relationship toxic. Sign number 3. Isolating you from friends and family. Third sign is a slow, calculated effort to isolate you from your support system. This is one of the most dangerous signs because it removes the very people who can give you perspective, leaving you more dependent on your jealous partner. And it almost never starts with an open demand like, "You can't see your friends anymore." It's far more sneaky than that. It usually begins with them being moody or withdrawn after you've spent time with others. You'll come home from a night out with friends, and they'll be sulking. When you ask what's wrong, they'll say something like, "It's just, we get so little time together, and you chose to spend your evening with them." It's expertly designed to make you feel guilty for having a normal social life. Next, they might start planting little seeds of doubt about the people you love. They'll make subtle jabs at your best friend. "Are you sure she really has your back? She seems a little two-faced." Or they'll question your family's motives. "It feels like your sister is always judging me. I get so uncomfortable when you two talk on the phone." The goal is to create an us against the world mentality, where they are the only person you can truly count on. They might also start a fight right before you're supposed to go out, making the whole experience so stressful that you decide it's just easier to stay home. Or they'll suddenly have a headache or a crisis that needs your immediate attention. Before you know it, you're turning down invitations not because you want to, but just to keep the peace. You start thinking, it's just not worth the argument. This isolation is a classic control tactic. By cutting you off from friends and family, they gain more power over your reality. Without those outside voices telling you, "Hey, that's not okay," it's easy to lose sight of what a healthy relationship should look like. If you feel like you're constantly being forced to choose between your partner and everyone else you love, take it as a serious warning sign. This isn't protection, it's possession. We're about halfway through, and I just want to pause for a second. If any of this is sounding uncomfortably familiar, please know you are not alone and you are not crazy for feeling the way you do. Let me know in the comments which sign is hitting home the most for you. Sharing what you're going through can be incredibly powerful for someone else who needs to know they're not the only one. And if you're finding this helpful, please hit that subscribe button. It helps our community grow, and you won't miss what's coming next. Alright, let's get back to the signs. Sign number 4. Backhanded compliments. Fourth hidden signal is the constant use of backhanded compliments, those tricky, passive-aggressive remarks that sound like praise but feel like a punch. It's the perfect tool for a jealous person because it lets them express their envy while pretending to be nice. It's the comment that makes you feel good for half a second, right before you're hit with a wave of confusion and hurt, leaving you thinking, "Wait, did they just insult me?" A jealous partner uses these veiled insults to keep you in your place, to chip away at your confidence so you don't get too happy or too independent. For example, let's say you put on an outfit that makes you feel incredible. Your partner looks you over and says, "Wow, you look amazing. That dress is so slimming." The compliment is you look amazing, but the hidden barb is the implication that you normally look bigger. It instantly sours the moment. Or maybe you nail a presentation at work. You tell your partner, and they say, "That's awesome. You were really good for a beginner." Again, the praise is immediately canceled out. The hidden message is that your success isn't impressive on its own, only when graded on a curve. A classic one is, "I just love how you're so confident you'll wear anything." It sounds like it's about your confidence, but it's really a jab at your style. These comments are a form of verbal sabotage. If you get upset, the person can immediately play dumb. "What? I was complimenting you. Why are you being so sensitive?" This is a classic gaslighting technique that makes you question your own reaction. Pay attention to how praise makes you feel. A real compliment lifts you up. A backhanded one leaves you feeling confused and small. If your relationship is full of them, it's a clear sign of jealousy and resentment. Sign number 5, imitating you while undermining you. Fifth sign is a truly bizarre and confusing one. They start imitating you while, at the same time, putting down the very things they're copying. This is a complex form of envy where your partner both admires something about you and resents you for having it. The imitation might be subtle. Maybe you're passionate about photography. It's your thing. Suddenly, your partner, who never cared before, goes out and buys a fancy camera and starts taking pictures. Or maybe you have a very distinct personal style. Soon, you notice them buying similar clothes or using the same phrases you do. It's like they can't stand for you to have something that is uniquely yours, so they try to claim it for themselves. Now, sharing interests can be a good thing. But when it's driven by jealousy, the imitation comes with a dose of undermining. For instance, while they're suddenly learning to play the guitar just like you, they'll make comments like, "It's not actually that hard to learn. I don't know why you made such a big deal about it." They are trying to acquire your skill while diminishing the talent and effort it took for you to develop it. This can also happen socially. Let's say you're known as the funny one in your friend group. You'll notice your partner starts trying to tell jokes in your style, but they'll also interrupt you or say later, "You always exaggerate your stories so much." They are trying to steal your social role while discrediting you in it. The psychology here is a toxic mix of admiration and resentment. They want what you have, but their ego can't handle you having it. So they try to take it for themselves to neutralize what makes you special, and then devalue it so it no longer feels like a threat. It can feel like a strange form of identity theft, and it's a clear sign of a deeply insecure and jealous mind at work. Sign number 6. Expressing displeasure at your happiness. Sixth hidden signal is one of the most heartbreaking. The sign is this: they get visibly upset or annoyed when you're happy about something that doesn't involve them. In a healthy relationship, your partner celebrates your joy no matter where it comes from. But a partner eaten up by jealousy sees your independent happiness as a personal rejection. Imagine this: you have a fantastic afternoon out with friends. You walk in the door feeling recharged and smiling. Your partner sees your happy face, and their own face just falls. Instead of asking what a great time you had, they get sullen and quiet. They might sigh and say, "Well, I'm glad one of us had a good day," instantly making you feel guilty for your own good mood. This all comes from a possessive mindset. A jealous partner wants to be the only source of your joy. When you find happiness in your career, your hobbies, or your friendships, it threatens their sense of control. Your independent happiness is proof that you are a whole person without them, and for someone deeply insecure, that is terrifying. This can show up in a lot of ways. They might get irritable when you're laughing at a text from your sister. They might call the hobbies that bring you joy silly or a waste of time. They might even pick a fight when things are going really well for you, just to sabotage your mood and pull you back down to an emotional level they can handle. Over time, you might start hiding your happiness from them. You learn to mute your excitement and downplay your good moods, just to keep them stable. Your relationship should be a place where you can be your full, vibrant self. If you feel like you have to shrink your joy to keep the peace, it's a glaring sign their jealousy is casting a dark shadow over your life. Sign number 7. Trying to make you jealous. The final hidden signal is maybe the most manipulative of all. They actively try to make you jealous. This is a destructive, mind-bending tactic used by insecure people to test your love or to get an ego boost. They'll start casually dropping a new coworker's name into every conversation, talking about how smart and funny they are. They might accidentally leave a social media chat with an ex open on their laptop for you to find. They might openly flirt with a waiter at a restaurant, all while watching you from the corner of their eye for a reaction. Trust me, these are not accidents. They are calculated moves. So why do they do this? There are a few twisted reasons. First, they're testing you. In their mind, if you get jealous, it proves you still care and are afraid to lose them. It's a sick way of looking for reassurance. Second, it's a power play. If they're feeling insecure in the relationship, making you feel insecure can, in their mind, level the playing field. Seeing you fight for them gives them a temporary jolt of power. And finally, it can be punishment. If they're mad at you for working late, they might flirt with someone else to get back at you. The problem is, this is like playing with fire. Instead of building trust, it creates more instability and resentment. It forces you into a no-win situation. Either you get visibly upset, which rewards their bad behavior, or you pretend not to care, which might make them try even harder. If you feel like your partner is intentionally creating situations designed to make you feel jealous, that is a massive red flag. Secure partners build each other up. They don't strategically try to tear each other down just to feel better. It's a sign that they are playing toxic games instead of communicating like an adult. What to do? Navigating the waters of jealousy. Recognizing these signs is the first step, but it can also be terrifying. You might be thinking, okay, I see this in my relationship, now what? Taking the next step takes courage, so here's where you can start. First, and most importantly, trust your gut. You may have spent months or even years telling yourself that you're just being sensitive or overthinking things. You're not. That feeling in your stomach, that sense that you're walking on eggshells, that's your intuition screaming that something is wrong. Your feelings are valid. Second, start setting and enforcing boundaries. Boundaries aren't about controlling them, they are about protecting you. You have to be calm and firm. If they demand your phone password, you can say, I love you, but my phone is my private space. I need us to have a relationship built on trust, not surveillance. If they use a backhanded compliment, don't just let it sting. Ask calmly, what do you mean by that? It makes them accountable for their words and shows them you won't play along. Third, you can try to have an open conversation about how their behavior affects you. Use I statements. Instead of "you're so controlling," say, when I get questioned constantly about my day, it makes me feel like you don't trust me. Instead of "you always put me down," try, I feel hurt when I share good news and it's met with criticism, and it makes me not want to share things with you. This is about your feelings, not their character. But be prepared, a deeply insecure person might just get angry or deny everything. Fourth, reconnect with your people. Make a real effort to see the friends and family who make you feel good about yourself. Tell a trusted friend what's been going on. Getting an outside perspective can be a lifeline and give you the strength you need. Isolation fuels control. Connection is the antidote. Finally, you have to consider that the relationship may be too unhealthy to save. If your partner steamrolls your boundaries, refuses to admit their behavior, or becomes even more controlling, you have to put your mental health and safety first. You can't fix someone's deep-seated insecurities for them. It is not your job to shrink yourself to fit inside the tiny, cramped box of their jealousy. We've walked through the 7 hidden signals of jealousy. The constant monitoring, the downplaying of your success, the slow isolation, the sting of backhanded compliments, the weird imitation, the anger at your happiness, and the manipulative games. These are not signs of a passionate, all-consuming love. They are symptoms of fear and insecurity. A healthy relationship should feel like a safe harbor, a place where you are celebrated, trusted, and free to be your entire self. It should be a space that makes your world bigger, not smaller. The constant stress from unchecked jealousy will eventually erode any love that was there, making it impossible for either of you to be happy. If this felt like looking in a mirror, I want to leave you with this: you deserve a relationship built on trust, not suspicion. You deserve a partner who is your cheerleader, not your competitor. You deserve to feel joy without guilt and freedom without fear. Recognizing these signs is the first step toward claiming that for yourself. Trust your gut, and have the courage to take the next step, whatever that may be. You are worthy of a love that feels like peace. Thank you for watching. If this video gave you some clarity, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who needs to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe for more content to help you build healthier, happier relationships. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.